Hi you guys, today I wanted to show you how to get this really easy, really fast bronze glowy look. This is really great for the hot weather we've been having lately, and I really wanted to do a look that was bronze and glowy and very warm and summery without self-tanning, without having a naturally deeper skin tone, because sometimes even really super pale girls like having that warmer, richer look. Now, one thing to note before I get started, my skin is normally very, very oily, but it has been drier since I've been pregnant. So a lot of the products I'm using are very luminous, glowy products. So my only suggestion is if you have super oily skin and you want to do this look, take a setting or a blotting powder with you. In this case, I'm using my IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation in Illumination. And for me, it lasts pretty much all day, using it as a setting powder and not as a foundation. But if you are super oily, just take that and a big fluffy brush with you. That way, midday, when your glowy look starts to get a little bit more oily than glowy, you can just touch it up with a little bit of powder and you're good to go for the rest of the day. Oh, and just so you guys aren't surprised, I did do this tutorial as a voiceover, which I don't normally do, so let me know what you think. I'm starting out by using my Maybelline Dream Fresh BB Cream in medium sheer tint and my flat top e.l.f. powder brush. This brush is really dense, and I found that it is one of the best things to use to apply this BB cream. For some reason, when I use my fingers, it always looks a little bit thinner and streakier than I would like, but this applies it very evenly and really makes everything just blend out so nicely. Next, I'm taking my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser in the shade Light, and I'm using this underneath my eyes to cover up my dark circles, and I'm also putting a little bit on my chin, on the bridge of my nose, and pretty much anywhere I have a little bit of acne scarring or pigmentation, just to add a little bit more coverage. And to blend this out, I'm using my Real Techniques pointed foundation brush. I really like this for blending out concealer. I'm using whatever's left over on the brush to put on my eyelids to cover up the veins and act as a primer. To set my concealer, I'm using my IT Cosmetics Celebration Foundation Illumination in the shade Light. I'm just putting this on with my Real Techniques buffing brush, but I'm using it very lightly and only a very small amount, just enough to set the product. Now I'm taking my NYC Smooth Skin Bronzer in Sunny and my Real Techniques contour brush. I'm going to start building up the bronze by gently contouring my face just beneath my cheekbones, along my temples, and along my hairline. Now I'm taking a great big powder brush and I'm just lightly dipping it into that exact same bronzing color, and I'm just going over the same spots and just under my jawline. This just helps diffuse everything, soften it out, and make my whole face look a little bit more bronzy rather than just contoured. Now I'm grabbing my Physicians Formula Nude Wear Touch of Glow palette in the shade Light, and I'm going to be using these two bottom shades. They're both shimmery bronze shades, and I'm taking my contour brush again and just blending the two together, and I'm going over the exact same spots just to add a little bit of shimmer to the bronze. I didn't want to do the entire bronze with shimmer so that it didn't look super shiny, but now I'm going back through and adding some glow to it. This is one of my very favorite palettes lately. I did want to say also this looks very strong on camera, but once you're out in the bright sunlight, a lot of the color is diffused. Now I'm going to be working on the highlight, first using NYX Illuminator in Narcissistic. This is a very golden highlight, and I'm taking a Sonia Kashuk Duo Fiber brush. I'm just applying this all the areas you would highlight: top of your cheekbones, down the bridge of your nose, Cupid's bow, and I always like to add a little bit of highlight just to the tip of my chin and onto my forehead a little bit. Now I'm going back into the palette I was using earlier and taking the highlight shade from this, which is one of my very favorite highlights, and I'm using a foundation brush to apply this very lightly. This is just adding a little bit more of a pinky champagne tone to the highlight and really helping to make things pop and glow. For my blush today, I'm using my NYX blush, and this is in the color Pinched. I really like this for this particular look because it has a little bit of shimmer in it, and it's a very nice rose pink shade. It's just enough to add a very natural flush to your cheeks without overpowering or looking too pink toned. I went ahead and did my eyebrows off camera with my Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow in Blonde and a Sonia Kashuk eyebrow brush. Today I'm doing my eyes entirely with the Too Faced Chocolate Bar palette, and the first shade I am taking is Creme Brulee, a nice gold shade, and I'm applying this all over the lid with a flat shading brush. I'm going back several times as well to really build up the color. Now I'm taking a fluffy blending brush in the shade Salted Caramel, which is one of my very favorites out of this palette. And I am just going to be applying this in and just above the crease of my eye. You really want to work this in and blend it out. And what I'm doing here is I'm going in and laying down a base layer. Then I go back in with a little bit more straight into the crease, and then I go ahead and I wipe my brush off and I go all around the edges just to really blend it out and create that nice gradient so we have no harsh lines. Now I'm taking a tiny detail brush and Salted Caramel, and I'm blending that underneath my lower lash line. You really want to fade this out a good bit because we're going to, in just a second, go back in and grab the shade Creme Brulee, the more gold shade, and add that right on top but closer into the lash line. Next, I'm wiping off that same brush and taking the shade White Chocolate to use as my highlight shade. Normally, I like using a very shimmery highlight, but since there's so much shimmer going on in this look already, I'm using a very matte highlight just to add a bit of brightness without being over the top. I'm taking my L'Oreal Silkaseam eyeliner in black, and I'm just lining my upper tight line right now. Anything that transfers down to the waterline is fine, but I want to keep this look very light, and this is just to create the illusion of a thicker lash line. And to finish it off, I'm going to curl my eyelashes and apply my L'Oreal Miss Manga mascara to both my top and bottom eyelashes. All that's left are our lips, and I am using the Maybelline Color Sensational, the Buffs, in the shade Cinnamon. I think it's a gorgeous darker nude shade that is perfect for a natural look without having super, super pale lips. And I'm going to be topping this with my NARS lip gloss in the shade Orgasm to add a bit of shimmer and shine. Now we are all done, and here is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, comments, or just want to say hi, I would love to hear from you down in the comments below. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You can also keep up with me on my website, which is joannabrooks.net, and on Twitter, Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. I am pretty much everywhere, and all the links for those are down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!